Welcome to the narrow ways, where we teach, believe, and walk in the narrow ways that Jesus spoke of in Matthew 7:14. This documentary is for those who have ears to hear and eyes to see. Let's start with the term illusion. Illusion, something that deceives or misleads intellectually. Now, if we look in the Bible, the first deception known to man could be found in Genesis chapter 3, verses 1 through 7. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God had said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. So Adam and Eve aren't the only ones to be deceived. Who else does the Bible say that Satan will deceive? We can go to Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So let's keep going further into it. So right now we know that Satan is going to deceive the whole world. So let's keep going. Now let's find out who has control of the whole world. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 4. In whom the God of this world had blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them. So that verse tells us that there is a God, lowercase g, of this world. So let's keep going. Let's see who the God of this world is. Let's go to Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So the Bible tells us that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. But we're going to let the Bible tell us who the wicked one is. So let's go and read the parable that Jesus gave in Matthew chapter 13, verses 24 through 30. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then hath it tares? He said unto them, An enemy had done this. The servant said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, Gather ye first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. That parable Christ gave to his disciples. But if we read down a little further, verses 37 through 39, Christ is going to tell us exactly what that parable means. So we need to find out who is this wicked one that the world has been given to. Verse 37, He answered and said unto them, He that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. So now we can see that Satan, the devil, is the one who sowed the wicked ones into the earth to grow with the righteous. So the earth was given into the hands of Satan. He's the God of this world. He has control over everything, all the money, all the power, all the wealth that goes on in this earth. It was given into the hands of Satan. And we can find that out also in the Bible, that the world was given into Satan because he offered all the kingdoms of the world to Christ. But how does he recruit people? Let's go to the Bible and see how Satan tried to recruit Christ. Let's go to Matthew chapter 4, verses 8 through 11. Again, the devil taking him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showing him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and said unto him, All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then said Jesus unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. So we can see Satan offered Christ all the kingdoms of the world, and Christ turned him down. But we can see what Satan's pitch is to them that worship him. He offers them the riches of the world. So now let's go back to that word illusion that we defined earlier. Something that deceives or misleads intellectually. So Satan uses illusions to deceive people, and so does his followers. Now let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verses 14 through 15. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. So, we now have set it up. Satan is the god of this world. The world has been given into the hand of the wicked. Satan has ministers in this world. The way he recruited the ministers is the same pitch that he recruited Christ with. He said, if you worship me, I will give you all the things of this world, all of the money, all of the power, all of the fame. So I'm going to show a couple of clips of Satan's ministers. People who are ministering his word and deceiving the whole world, like the Bible said will happen.
In his hands, he's got the whole entire world. In his hands.
In his hands, he's got you and me, sister. In his hands, he's got you and me, brother. In his hands, he's got all of the people. He's got the whole world in his hands.
He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
So we see these people, these so-called celebrities, singing this song, He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. Now, who do we think this song is talking about? We just looked into the Bible, and the Bible told us whose hand this world was in. But all of these celebrities are singing his praise and worshiping him because he gave them that power and that glory. They took the deal that Christ turned down. We should worship God, and him only shall we serve. But those people, they took the devil's offer, and now they're singing his praises. And we have people who know no better, who have no knowledge of God, singing that song and giving praises to Satan, and they don't even know it. That's where you get the word illusion. It's an illusion. He does things that people without ears to hear and eyes to see can't see. They can't tell. They don't know that they're being deceived. So the purpose of this video is to open the eyes of people who don't have eyes to see, who don't have ears to hear, so they can see how Satan is deceiving the whole world. I'm going to show a series of clips. And these clips are from an actor named Isaac Cappy. Now, Isaac Cappy has came out and was exposing the elite, all of the leaders of the world, for all of the wicked things that they were doing. Now, Isaac Cappy, he played in some movies. He was in Thor, Terminator, Salvation, a movie called Fanboy. So he was in some movies. And so this guy, he's going to come out. I'm going to play these clips, and he's going to talk about all of the elite and all of the celebrities and what type of things they are doing.
Steven Spielberg is a pedophile. You guys, all of this stuff is interconnected. If you want to get into the club, if you want to make the money, if you want the fame, you basically have to sell your soul. At Seth's, we went over there, played Mafia. It's a role-playing game that we play. And at the end of the night, it was me, Seth, and his brother-in-law. And Seth turned to me and opened up this secret bookshelf, and he's like, "This is where we keep the children." And I was like, I tried to just put it out of my mind. But then about a month later, Seth, Claire, and I were having a dinner at their house, and Seth said, "We now need to have a talk about chicken." And I was like, oh God.
Now, when Isaac talks about chickens, chicken means young children. And we know that because of the WikiLeaks emails of Hillary Clinton. Quote, "With fingers crossed, the old rabbit's foot out of the box in the attic, I would be sacrificing a chicken in the backyard to Moloch." Chickens in that sense means young children. She was going to sacrifice a child to Moloch. Now we need to see who Moloch is, who she was going to sacrifice this young child to. And we can go to the Bible to Leviticus chapter 20 verses 1 through 6 to find out that they were doing these same exact things in the Bible days. And let's hear what God has to say about those type of things. "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Again, thou shalt say to the children of Israel, Whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn in Israel, that giveth any of his seed unto Moloch, he shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. And I will set my face against that man, and will cut him off from among his people, because he had given his seed unto Moloch, to defile my sanctuary, and to profane my holy name. And if the people of the land do any ways hide their eyes from that man, when he giveth of his seed unto Moloch, and kill him not, then I will set my face against that man, and against his family, and will cut him off, and all that go a whoring after him, to commit whoredom with Moloch, from among their people. And the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits, and after wizards, to go a whoring after them, I will even set my face against that soul, and will cut him off from among his people." So God had a real strong statement about people sacrificing their children to this god Moloch. They were doing this way back then, and God was against it. There's nothing new under the sun. These people are still doing the same exact thing and witchcraft and sacrifices to their god Satan. They're still doing it. It's the same thing they were doing back then.
Oh, I'm not going to talk about Tom Hanks either, who is also a pedophile. Tom Hanks, folks, is a pedophile. I'm sorry if this is the kind of bursting your bubble. All this information is new.
Also, we need to look at this tweet by Tom Hanks made a month before Isaac was killed. It says, "Historic Route 66, roadkill, question mark? I hope not, Hanks." Now, if you just look at this tweet on the surface, it makes zero sense. But if you look at it and think about Isaac's death, the historic Route 66 runs through Arizona, which is where Isaac was murdered. Route 66 is a highway. Isaac was murdered on the highway. Roadkill. He was hit by a car. And this all happened a month before Isaac passed. So Tom Hanks knew that Isaac was going to die in the manner that he was going to die, because he exposed these people. If someone is lying, death wouldn't be the punishment. But if he's telling the truth, you'd want to silence him forever. So Mr. Cappy was murdered. They say he committed suicide, but no, he was murdered May 13th, 2019. And that was after he exposed all of these elite people in Hollywood and about all of the perverse things that they're doing. But there's way more examples that I will get into at a later time. But just know that Satan is using his angels, his ministers to deceive the world. You need to guard your body, guard your eyes. The eyes are the gateway into the soul. Satan has control over the TV. He has control over the radio. He's the God of this world. He controls everything that gets out into the media. So we need to be protective of what we let into our homes, what we let into our minds, what we let into our psyche. He's using these people to spread his message in his songs, in movies, in television, everything. He's using them to deceive the world. This has been a narrow ways video where we believe in walking in the narrow ways which Christ prescribed. Matthew chapter 7, verses 13 and 14. Enter ye in at the strait gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because strait is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth into life, few there be that find it. Be blessed.